Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be solving the Leet code question summary ranges. So in this question we're given a sorted unique integer array called nums. So what we want to do is we want to return the smallest sorted list of ranges that cover all the numbers in the array exactly. So that is, each element of nums is covered by exactly one of the ranges. And there is no integer x such that x is one of the ranges but not in nums. So each range a comma b in the list should be outputted as, so a to b, and it's going to be a string if a is not equal to b, and a by itself if a and b have the same value. Alright, so I think the text over here is a little bit confusing the way they explain it, but let's just look at an example. It should be really easy to understand. Okay, so the input over here is the nums list that we were talking about. And as you can see, nums over here is a sorted list, and we're always going to be getting a sorted list. So now the goal of our question over here is pretty simple. We want to output the ranges, all the possible ranges in this problem. So let's start off and let's just go through this number by number. So the first number we have is 0. Okay, so that's going to be the starting of one range. And how do we know that's going to be starting? Well, because it's the first number, so we have to start off at some place. And again, each of the numbers inside of nums has to be accounted for no matter what. Okay, so now we start off with the range at 0. Then the next number, so the number that comes after 0 is 0 plus 1, which is 1. And 1 exists inside of num, so we also have that. And then 1 plus 1, the next number is 2, so we have 2 as well. So now let's do 2 plus 1, which is 3, so that's the next number. But 3 is not inside of our nums values over here. So when we have some number which is not inside of values, that means that we've reached a certain ending for our range. So in this case, to represent the numbers 0, 1, and 2, we're going to have the range 0, 2. So that means we're starting at the number 0, then we have the number 1, and we're also going to be including the numbers at the ending. So 0 and 2 are included. So we have that over here so far, 0 and 2. Okay, perfect. So we don't have a 3, then we go on to the next number, which is 4. And like I said earlier, because we already had a previous range, 0, 2, over here we're going to start off with a new range. So this range over here is going to start off with the number 4. Then we're going to have the number 5. And then we're supposed to have 6, but 6 does not exist. So in that case, we're going to have 4, 5 to represent the numbers 4 and 5. And finally, we have just the number 7. And to represent that, we're going to have 7, 7 as the range. So now we have the three ranges, and we want to convert that into a string. And the way that we're going to represent it is we're going to have the first starting value, so in this case 0, and we're going to have this arrow over here, and then we're going to have the ending value. So 0 pointing to 2, 4 to 5, and then 7 itself, because 7 does not have a range, it's just a single number. So let's just look at this example real quickly. So over here we have 0 by itself, because there's no 1. Then we have 2, 3, and 4 inside of a range over here. Then we have 6 by itself, because we don't have the numbers 5 and 7. And then we have 8 and 9. So 8 and 9, which are over here. Again, everything in nums is accounted for, and everything inside of our output does exist inside of nums no matter what. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let's just directly go into the code and kind of walk through it step by step, because I think the question is not too difficult. Alright, so we're going to start off by having a results list. And this results over here is going to store the range itself. And by the range, what I mean is that we're going to be storing these values over here. We'll convert it into a string like this later on. Okay, so we have our result. I'll call it res. And now what we're going to do is we're going to iterate through each of our numbers. So to do that, I'll just do for num in nums. Okay, so now in nums, we're getting each of our numbers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go. So we're going to first thing what we're going to do is we're going to go to our results over here. And we're going to go to the last list in our results. Remember, in results, we're going to be storing the ranges. So this is going to be the last list that we have, range that we have. And in that, we want to get the ending point of our range. And the ending point is going to be at the very ending as well. So we go to -1. So now what we want to do over here is we want to check the next number of that certain range. So the next number is just going to be +1. So now what we're going to be checking for is we're going to check if the current number we're on is not equal to that. So if the current number we're on is not equal to whatever the very last element in the last range currently is, then in that case, that means we need to start off with a completely new range, right? So that is the condition that we're going to follow through. And in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our results and we're going to append a completely new range. And this range is going to be a list. And the list over here is going to start off with the num inside of it. Okay, so that's what we have. But there's a few problems with this which we want to change around. So one of the problems that we have over here is basically that what if we actually don't have anything at the -1 index of results? So for example, in the very first iteration, in the very beginning, results is going to be empty. So in that case as well, when results is empty, in that case, we also want to make a new list, right? We want to make a new range of values, right? So in that case, we want to consider that as well. So to do that, what we're going to do, if not res, so if res is empty, or this condition over here is not followed, then in that case, we're going to go down over here and we're going to append a list which just has the starting point. So the num we're adding here is going to be considered as the starting of a new range. So that is the condition that we have over here. And instead of this, we're going to have an else condition. So in that case, what that's telling us is that we do have some sort of value inside of res. So there's already at least one range existing. And besides from that, another thing that we do have is the fact that the current value that we're on, so the num that we're currently on, is actually the next number compared to the last value inside of our res. Okay, so we know that, and in that case, we're just going to append that to our res. So we're going to go to the last list or the last range of values, so -1, and we're going to append num. Okay, so we have this over here, and before actually going through with the next steps, we're just going to print out our results over here, and let's see how this looks like. And as you can see, this is what we were kind of looking for. So we have this number over here, and the output that we got is 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. So now we have one step, which is we want to clean up this output. So instead of having 0, 1, and 2, we just want to have the starting value and the ending value. So we just want 0 and 2. That's it. We don't want anything else. So when do we know that one of the ranges is done, right? And we know that one of the ranges is done if we go inside of this if statement. So once we go inside of this if statement, that's telling us that we need a new range. And during that, if there was a range which existed before this, that means that we need to end that range and close it over there. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And one more thing that we actually have to consider for is we might not actually have res. So res might still be empty. And in that case, that means that we're currently at the first values that we're looking for. So we're first going to check if res. So that means that res is not empty. And now that we have this, we can go to the last current value. So res -1. So this is the last range that we had. And we're going to check if it has a length which is greater than or equal to 2. And if that is the case, that means that we do have a range. So if it does have a length of just 1, then in that case, we can just leave it as it is since it's only one number. So now what we're going to do is we're going to redefine this value over here. So we're going to go to res -1 and we're going to redefine it. And the new value that it's going to be, we're going to have it inside of a list. And we're going to go to res -1. And inside of that, we're going to go to the 0th index because we want to get the starting value. Now we're going to add this, and instead of this again, now we want to add the last value to it. Now the reason that I'm putting these inside of a list is because I don't actually want to add the value. So I don't want to do 2 plus 2 equals 4. Instead, I just want to have 2 and 2 as two different elements, okay? So now we want to get the ending point, which is going to be at the index -1, all right? So that's pretty simple. So this over here is going to take care of everything inside of our results. So all of the ranges do end up getting closed up. But the problem is at the very last iteration of whatever number it is, this is not going to be done, right? This step, we're not going to go inside of the step over here. So in order to account for that, what we're going to do is we're going to do that one more time. I'm just copy pasting it at the very ending. So we're going to do this right over here at the very ending of our for loop. So after the for loop, okay? And now if you print results, you should just get the starting and the ending values. And as you can see, we just got 0 and 2, 4 and 5, and 7, which is exactly what we want. Now, finally, what we want to do is we want to convert it into the way that they want us to actually give out the answer. So to do that, we'll be using list comprehension. And the value or the thing that we're going to be using in order to join each of these numbers. So between each of the ranges, we have an arrow. So let's just draw out that arrow, which is this over here. And we're going to be using that to join the starting and the ending value. So to do that, we can use the dot join method. And over here, we're going to be using a map. Now, the reason we're using a map is because currently each of our values is actually a number, right? It's an integer. But as you can see in our result over here, they're all strings, right? So we want to abide by that, and we only want strings. So to do that, we're going to use the map function. We want to map everything into a string, and what we're going to be mapping is going to be called x. So now we didn't actually define what x is, so let's do that. So for x in, and x is going to be each of the values inside of res. So x is going to represent each of our ranges. And that should be it. So now if we submit our solution, it should get accepted. And as you can see, our submission was accepted. So finally, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Do let me know if you have any questions. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.